Good morning.
Good morning.
I call this meeting of Lake Mary Toastmasters, Club 6440 to order. Our club mission is to provide a supportive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Before we proceed with the meeting, please switch off your cell phones or set them on silent mode. I would like to ask everyone to be upstanding for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. We will now welcome our Toastmaster, Suzanne. Let's for it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wow, this is going to be a very special Toastmasters meeting, so you'll notice the agenda looks a little bit different. I'm going to jump right into it this morning. First off, we don't have a full technical table, but we do have a timer, so I would like to ask our timer, Carrie, to tell us about the role.
Function of assisting the Toastmaster in keeping the meeting on schedule. Each segment will be timed. We only have 2 speakers today. One is 13 to 15 minutes and the other is 8 to 10. So at 13 and 8 you'll see the green, with 1 minute left you'll see the yellow, and when time is up you'll see the blue.
Thank you. Now, no hesitation, I introduce our first speaker of the day. Stephen was a member of our parent club on the Toastmasters, along with our club's mentor and first president, Kevin Dunn, before this Panera here even opened. Stephen first joined Lake Mary Toastmasters when it was a mere 3 months old. Now, nearly a dozen years later, he is our de facto historian, since he has been a first-hand witness and frequently an active adjutant throughout our club's history. Stephen's official duty as club president ended less than 5 hours ago. And this morning, he intends to remind us of all we had planned to do and all we accomplished within the past year. Please help me welcome Advanced Toastmaster Gold, Stephen Morgan with Retrospect.
Hello, welcome everyone. Ready for a nice big bright Tuesday morning, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, but I do remember when the club did form, when Kevin was first approached originally by Wayne Fogel, who was our first club sponsor there. They were both eager to finish their Distinguished Toastmaster. One of those things you have to do to get a Distinguished Toastmaster is help sponsor, mentor, or coach a club. They decided to start this one here because they found a place that was opening, had a room, and had food. That was why they started it. It was a phrase that came from a district governor many years back when we were still part of District 47, Paul Jr., who kept saying, "Food rules." Wayne was a big proponent of that, therefore we ended up here. We have gone through a lot in those 12 years now, because it has been 12 years since the formation. In that time, I've seen a lot of different people come through. I have seen pretty much everybody's icebreaker, or I've been around at that time. Nowadays, I get to poke fun at everybody. I'd only been an officer in this club once before, officially, when I was treasurer, and that was a testament to the club, whereas my other clubs, since I've been in many, were generally begging me to take on an office. Here, no one would ask, because there were so many people willing to step up. I'm fine with that. Because at this point, I've been an officer so many times, I don't need to do it anymore. I have no particular desire. Unless there's something I want to work on, I don't jump in and say I want to do it. I'll be happy to step up if needed. But the key I've always said is if there's somebody willing to take the spot, I'd rather they do it. I don't care if I think they're going to be good at it, because I've always been of the mind, for Toastmasters, this is where you get up and try the things and learn to do them. If you are waiting to be ready, then then it's too late. Is the way I put it. The point is to be up here before you're ready, taking on the offices. This particular year, we did have a variety of goals in place. Some of them were obvious. Whoops, went too far. Some of them were obvious and set straightforward. Some were my own ideas, and some came as a result of the actions that happened throughout the term. I wanted to get us pushed out onto social media, doing that a lot more. I wanted to get us making use of the online capabilities that we had available. And as we discovered throughout the time, we also ran into financial issues we had to deal with, and try, of course, to reach out beyond the club. And then there's always the district saying, do this, or actually Toastmasters International saying, you must follow these as well, the Distinguished Club Program. Now, most of you have probably gotten annoyed at this point by the many things I've thrown out, either through Twitter, through Facebook, through many of the various social sites, throwing up the videos, throwing up everything that you probably didn't want to see online. But at the same time, we now have at least a visible presence. And in some of those cases, it's helped to bring some people in. And that was the main idea, to get that connection outward so that people know we're here and say, oh, look, we're doing stuff that might be interesting, get people in. The meetup group in particular, thanks to Jessica paying for that one for us to have, has brought people in. And hopefully we'll be able to keep that moving along as well. And I've tried to put up pictures as best I can as well. Sneak a few in once in a while. How many of you have actually paid attention to the stuff that's going on online? A few. Good. Yay. Share them about. The more eyes that see them, the more people will be able to bring in as well. Reformulated the website as a whole. Instead of using the free available ones from Toastmasters, I decided let's use the free one available from Google and design it our own way. The way it's set up now, try to make it as clean and easy to get around as possible, and particularly to put up information that all of us can find useful. Now, this could simply be as simple as the events coming up, the Twitter feed that's sitting on the side. The resources page lists a bunch of stuff that we can use as members and for guests, and links to other clubs. And of course, the key thing, the map. Where the heck are we? Now, this is the one I probably had a bit of difficulty with some people, the Google groups. This is essentially our email list. But the key advantage being that we also have our history sitting here as well. So when a new member joins, I'm happy to go in and add them to the list. Nice thing about this one is that we can add anyone to the list. If there's someone who's not a member who wants to see what's going on, we can have them sitting on there. People can ask to join on their own, and people can ask if they want to leave. Yes, but they can just do it on their own. That's what those links at the bottom of the email tell you. You also have the opportunity to say, you know, I don't want to get every one of these messages, just give it to me once a day. Stop sending me the emails, I'll come to the website and look. These extra bits, particularly the history, certainly have been what I've found to be most helpful. Adding a few of those. Now, the interesting thing that I put out there that we haven't used all that much is the club's phone number. We do have a phone number, the club itself. You call that number, you get an automated system. The automated system will tell you our normal meeting time, hours, location, but you can also ask for any officer, such as president or treasurer, just by saying president, treasurer, secretary, pick. Or you can ask for any member by name. And it will use voice recognition to best match and forward to our phone numbers. You do not need to know any member's phone number per se, you just need to know the club's. Toastmasters, you have no excuse when you're doing the agenda to figure out, oh, how do I contact the person? One number for everybody. You can't reach everybody. In some cases, we have to figure out how to get the voice recognition to fit particular people's names, but so far, nobody's complained yet. Now, how many people have actually used it? We need to get that further out there. That is our contact number with TI if anyone actually wants to look us up. and of course our videos and throwing things up on the blog. Yes, I bring the camera in. I'm sure a few people probably annoyed at seeing that there, and I had a request to move the video at one point, no problem with that. But it is very interesting, if you've ever seen somebody with their icebreaker and then see where they are after finishing the competent communicator, put those two speeches side by side, you'll be amazed. Take any person you want to pick on that one. That's why I found it useful to have the videos up for people to be able to go back and see. How far have you come? Now this is one that was not obvious because very few people here were paying attention to it. When the district decided to put up their challenge from the roadshow, this was a way to get us doing a lot more marketing, pushing out stuff about the club. The district provided incentives, which were monetary in nature, based on actually us following the steps and how many members will gain in that time. As a result, they also provided us a variety of marketing materials. Now, the only person who really paid attention to this was Stephanie, because she ended up doing all the work. I did present the moments of truth. But honestly, I would have done that anyway. Because I found that to be very useful to get feedback from everyone. What do you need? How are we doing? Until that information flows in from the members, the officers don't necessarily know what to do. What's going to be most effective for everyone. But that was going on. That's why we had the open house, which unfortunately we didn't get any guests for, but we still had the open house anyway. Jessica definitely did a lot of work getting us into the Lake Mary Life magazine, and that article got us a lot of people showing up. If we can do even more of that, that would be very helpful as well. But that was a significant accomplishment for us. Then we had that financial challenge. As we discovered, it began back when I was treasurer. It used to be that we didn't have to pay for the room as long as enough people bought food. Then they wanted to charge us for the room. We had to find a way to cover the cost of the room from the club's money itself, and we had to up the club dues. At the time when we made the estimate, we kind of gauged that we would have about 25 members on average, and judged the fees from there. A little while after that, Toastmasters International raised their dues $9, and we decided as the club to not extend that and leave our dues the same, so we absorbed that $9 per member in jump there. And as a result, what we hit at this term was we've been running into the red to the point that we weren't going to make it to the end of the year. That is why we had to raise the dues at that time. And we raised them by, from 89 to 98, that same $9 Toastmasters. But we still have a challenge here. And Stephanie's definitely been feeling it.
So now I'm going to.
The original, we had, the club had intended that we'd have about an average of 25 members, and we have not. And because of that, that difference in the amount of dues coming in means that we have not enough to cover yet the room. Now, it may mean in time we're going to have to up dues yet again, or it may mean we need to find ways of raising funds, which we can. One of my other clubs does an auction once a year, covers all. Pretty much everything we want to do, and then more. That's one way to do it. Or we're a nonprofit organization. Any donation you want to make can be written off. Take your pick. But we are going to run into this problem. 2,600 doesn't quite match the 2,480. As a club in the contests, we did quite well. Of the 4 contests, we won 3 of them at the area. And in the fall, if you recall, both Jessica and Susanna took 2nd in the division. So we did quite a good job going that far. And then, of course, the Distinguished Club Program. This is the one that gets us the ribbons on the back, particularly the President's Distinguished Club. This is established by Toastmasters International, and these are the 10 goals we are supposed to reach. If we reach 9 of those 10, President's Distinguished. Oh, and you have to have 20 members or net gain of 5 to get any. In that stretch, we did get 5 of the necessary 4 competent communicators. Stephanie and myself repeating, and new ones from Carrie, Gus, and Paul. Amongst the advanced communicators, Stephanie and Julia gave us the 2 that we needed. And amongst the leadership awards, we were fine with Paul and Stephanie, and then Julia went way overboard. I'll point out, her advanced leader bronze was something she finished years ago. She thought she had finished the competent communicator, which is essentially the same thing now. But with TI, I went to submit her stuff. They told her, no, we don't have it. So I had to dig up her stuff, which was like 5 or more years old. So that advanced leader bronze, she had earned a long time back. But she did finish her silver this year and submitted her distinguished Toastmaster as well. Unfortunately, not in time to do the walk through the conference. Of our necessary 8 new members, we brought in 11. That we had done quite well, and we are hoping that we'll see many more of them in the coming year and then some. And of course, the administrative stuff, make sure we get our dues on time, officers trained, officer list. We did manage to achieve those. Of the 4 necessary officers to be trained, 6 and 5, which did eventually lead us to getting to the DCP at this point. There was a challenge with membership, though. Although we brought in 11 members, we lost 16. With a net loss of 5, we were actually very close and in danger of not even having the 20 necessary to get any of the distinguished clubs. And at that point, we managed to pull off Jody's renewal just a couple of weeks back. We are sitting exactly at 20. With that, it means we are low on money, of course, as we need more members. But it does mean that we reached all 10 of the goals and the 20 members. Club sitting distinguished, presidents distinguished yet again. Yay. It's always been my impression that I don't track it, but I don't focus on it because if the club's doing well, it's going to reach it. And we did just fine. So in terms of the goals that we had for this year, we accomplished a good number of them, but we still have challenges going forward, particularly the financial stability, and we're a promote and recruit. We got a lot of people, but we're going to need more. So please make sure you're getting more people in, and when guests are here, encourage them. We certainly want to get them to sign up. The club did reach many other recognitions along the way. Stephanie did a lot of the work as president, making sure that we had our dues being paid, including our first 9 being paid within the first day or 2 of the term. For getting us another ribbon, we'll have to find another way to stick up here. They call it notable 9. Plenty of space. The new one that's in the back. But there's also a few things I wanted to provide, and that is because the things that I do as president, the job is easy when the other officers are doing what they're supposed to do. The other officers don't. It's my job to step up, which is why I did most of the sergeant-at-arms during the term. But I didn't do all of it, and I don't do all the tasks very well necessarily myself. If it weren't for the other officers, would not have been able to get as far as we did. Unfortunately, none of the vice presidents came up today. Our vice president of education, Ori Friggles, who was keeping the schedule going, and he's the only person I've ever seen do it two years in a row in any club. Bud McKechnie also in his 2nd year doing VP membership. And Jessica had to leave midterm because she ended up with a job change. But she did a lot of work before leaving, and that helped us a lot. Now, it was less obvious what the secretary does, and that's partly because in this club the secretary has done very little in its history. But in that time, for this year, Paul has done a lot of work in helping make sure that we were getting out our weekly reports, putting stuff up on the blog here and there as well. But a little bit more than that, because behind the scenes he was also working on his own goals within Toastmasters. And he had goals to actually accomplish the many things he had done in this time. He wanted to finish his competent communicator, he wanted to finish the competent leader. And in that stretch he also volunteered eagerly to take on the role for the contest master for the contest as well. Would not have been able to accomplish our DCP or successful contest here without him. And we're showing we're demonstrating the spirit of Toastmasters, Paul. Thank you. And as you've probably already heard many times, there is no way we would have gotten anywhere without the treasurer, especially with the financial difficulties and jumping in on many occasion to help the club and achieve many of the goals and to step in when things were needed. We would not have accomplished anything with the Roadshow Challenge. We would have not gotten members paid. We would have been short eventually and probably not reached any of the DCP at this point. And of course, always pestering me. And giving me the criticisms necessary to know that, to know that we don't always agree, but we can still find ways to accomplish the goals that we desire. Stephanie is our Toastmaster of the Year. My job is done, at least as president. I will be taking over VP Education, so you will be seeing plenty of me still, just not as much. You'll be still hearing me pushing you online and doing a lot more. But as is my typical idea, I like to step back and let everyone else do their job. I'll be there to help where needed, but it's now time for the next set of officers to come up and try their hand and see what they can pull off. I hope you've found this year to be as successful as I have, but I'm certainly expecting the next one to be even more. If you have anything to provide for feedback, speak up. We want to hear it, and we need to know it. But go for your goals. The club will reach their own. Thank you for this past year, and I hope that you'll find the next one to be even better.
Thank you so much, former President Stephen Morgan, new Vice President of Education, Stephen. I would like to now introduce our district. No? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Doing this, I'm like, am I wrong?
She's getting used to it.
Our district governor, Mary Pirro-Holbert, for the officer installations.
It is a great honor as my first act as District 84 Governor to be able to install the officers of your club. Like Mary, I would join this club but for the ungodly hours. I love this club, so thank you so much. Thank you, Stephen, for inviting me. Thank you, Stephanie. I am here to install the officers of Club 6440, Lake Mary Toastmasters, and to prepare them for the challenges that lie ahead. Their collective challenge is to make this club strong, dedicated to helping people from all walks of life to listen with sensitivity, think creatively, and speak in an effective manner. Will the outgoing officers please stand? On behalf of Toastmasters International and District 84, I thank all of you for your accomplishments, and there are many. You are hereby discharged from all further duties and responsibilities as officer of 6440 Lake Mary Toastmasters, effective immediately. Now, our new officers. When I call each of you, would you please come forward and stand to the right of the lectern? And I'm left and right challenged, but I do believe that's over here. Our Sergeant at Arms, and please come and stand in this order. Sergeant at Arms Alexandra Balba. Your Treasurer Diane Manikowski. Your Secretary, Carrie Bird. Your Vice President, Public Relations, Paul Walsh. Your Vice President, Membership, Augustine Gus Davis. Your Vice President, Education, Stephen Moore. Morgan. And your president, Erika Benfield. Each officer is obligated to do these things: to attend club executive committee meetings, to attend district-sponsored club officer training in July and January, and to prepare a successor for office. As I briefly describe the responsibilities of each officer, I'll ask you to hold a gavel as a symbol of your leadership. Starting with your incoming Sergeant at Arms, Alexandra Balda. The details, or the duties of the Sergeant at Arms, are to make sure that all supplies and materials are properly distributed or displayed at meetings, to greet guests and members, and call the meeting to order at a specified time. I give you this gavel as a symbol of this charge. Will you perform these duties to the best of your abilities?
Yes.
Excellent. Will you then pass the gavel to the treasurer? Congratulations. Do we have the pen? Let's see. Yes. Let's see. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You can move either to the back, maybe to the back of the line. Back of the line. Competent communicator, Carrie Bird. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Diane, I'm sorry, my bad. My bad. I am, where am I?
The longest name.
Left her out.
Well,
Stephanie tended to keep it first.
Good thing the kids.
She
I
wanted to keep the
job. Unless she was radio.
That's good. Well, that's okay. I got it. No problem. I'll make it up.
Stephanie just wants to add some extra stuff to it. You can just say, I will.
Yours is a
and
full
then
page, I don't know.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
The duties of the treasurer are many.
Okay.
The duties of the treasurer are to keep the financial records of your club, to submit dues payments from your membership to Toastmasters International, and to keep the club under financial trouble. No. The duties of the treasurer include also keeping all the records, the financial records, in order. Will you assume these duties to the best of your ability?
I will gladly.
Excellent. Fabulous.
Thank you.
Thanks, Diane. Okay, now, Gary Bird. The duties of the secretary are to keep accurate records of the members, submit the officer list to Toastmasters International, and that is very important, after the election, and keep the club charter, constitution, and bylaws, and the club minutes. Will you perform these duties to the best of your abilities? Excellent. Excellent. And that was, I should have said competent communicator. Very good. Competent communicator Paul Wash. The duties of the Vice President of Public Relations are to promote the club to the local media, to spread the word about the membership programs, and attend Toastmasters events. Will you perform these duties to the best of your abilities? I will. Excellent. competent communicator, Gus Davis. As Vice President membership, your duties are to conduct ongoing membership building programs, to explain the educational programs to prospective members, and ask them to join. Follow up on your new members and any absent members. Will you perform these duties to the best of your abilities?
Yes, I will.
Advanced Toastmaster Gold, Stephen Morgan. And one day we're going to get you to that DTN. The duties of the Vice President Education are to plan successful meetings to help members achieve their educational goals, orient new members to the Toastmasters program as soon as they join, and monitor members' progress. Will you perform these duties to the best of your abilities? Let's see. Oh my gosh, that. I may need a sledgehammer.
You're
gonna
gavel.
Top.
Here's a gavel.
Put it on his tie tag.
Oh, it's true, I should have put it on his tie. But now he's got it up there.
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, and we have the most amazing job of all. Erika Benfield, having been elected president of Club 6440 Lake Mary Toastmasters, you're its executive officer and will be expected to preside at all club meetings and at all regular and special meetings of the club executive committee. It's your challenge to see that this club enables its members to achieve their educational goals. It's also your challenge to see that your club helps the area, the division, the district, and Toastmasters International to meet their goals. You are holding the gavel as a symbol of your leadership and dedication to office. The gavel is a symbol of the power and authority given to you by the membership of your club. Use it wisely and with restraint. You're a member of your team as well as its leader. A team is more than a collection of people. It's an emotional force rooted in the feelings, thoughts, and actions of all members, with the common goal of achievement, sharing, and mutual support. Work with your team members to create a healthy, dynamic club, a club of which everyone will be proud. Will you, as president, accept this challenge and perform these duties to the best of your abilities? I will. It is now my pleasure to declare these Toastmasters installed into their offices to which they have been elected, effective as of actually 3:01 a.m. last night. Oh, retroactively install them. Will everyone in the club please stand? Let me ask a point of order. Do you exchange the pens first?
After her.
After her speech, okay. The growth and development of the Toastmasters program in Lake Mary Toastmasters depends largely on the actions of this group. On your honor, as men and women of Lake Mary Toastmasters, will you pledge to individually and collectively stand by this club, live with it, and work with it throughout the coming year?
Yes,
I will.
Excellent. I wish Club 6440, Lake Mary Toastmasters, a very successful year. As the new year has not yet commenced, I will turn control over to your current, yes, This is.
She's starting now.
The new year has commenced. I will turn it over to your president, Erika B.
Let's be seated. Let's take a 30-second break. Let's grab our coffees. 30 seconds on the clock, please.
I recognize it.
Take this with me.
Okay.
Oh, congratulations. Thank you. Table for that up for the president-elect. Thanks. Go ahead and take it out. Kind of put that together, but I wasn't sure. Wow. Congratulations. He's got coffee. Good, good, good. What's best? With kids too.
The Stevens.
Yes.
Yeah, it was one of the
Oh, this is
three.
Steven.
Oh, no.
Well, as my first active duty as your new president, I just want to take a moment to just breathe and look around the room, because there's a reason that I originally joined Toastmasters. And I actually started because I wanted to help the local debate team have a leg up against the private school kids. My initiative was to gain knowledge that I could share with others. And there's a quote, it's better to remain a fool, to be thought as a fool, than to talk and remove all doubt. It's better to be thought a fool than to talk and remove all doubt. That is a quote by Goldberg, if anybody's ever heard that quote before. And as your new president, I am looking forward to seeing the club have another successful year. The bar has been raised, and I look forward to the challenge to maintain that and maybe possibly take it up to the next level. The title of my speech is Why Toastmasters? So I'm going to give you a brief history of my goals and challenges and accomplishments. How many of you were born in the United States? How many of you have moved to Florida within the last 10 years? Well, I too moved to the States when I was 6 years old. I was born in the island of Puerto Rico. And Puerto Rico is a big difference between San Juan and Greenville, South Carolina. I faced the challenges of a different curriculum, of having to change my pronunciation of words, because in Puerto Rico, although I transferred from a private school, it was actually a school that was considered an English private school, but I very quickly learned that we spoke Spanglish. For example, I'm going to give you a few short examples. The phrase "to check" in Spanish, the proper way of saying it is verificar. So you take that and you put it together and you get chequear. I'm going to chequear la estufa, or the stove. Another funny one is if you wanted to say "to park," the proper word is estacionar. So you take that and you put it together and you get parquear. I'm going to parquear el carro, or the car. You can only imagine the challenges that I faced in having a Spanglish surrounding to a full English surrounding and having to get up to speed very quickly. Not to mention that only one of my parents spoke fluent English. My parents moved to the States to provide us a better life and opportunity, and that's a whole other speech that I won't get into. But I did notice growing up that my father went from, and I have a paper here to keep me grounded because this is a personal story that I'm sharing that I've never shared before. He went from owning his own business in Puerto Rico to humbly taking a step back and working initially as a lawnmower repairman. He faced challenges with switching hats from Spanish to English because he who so eloquently speaks in Spanish, I, as a 7-year-old, would have to help correct him. No, Dad, it is sheet of paper, not fill in the blanks. Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to actually speak. They say it takes 21 days to form a habit. Well, when I joined Toastmasters, I made a commitment. I'm just going to join for 6 months. I'm sure maybe some of you have been down that road. I'm just going to do it for this term. That's it. I'm just going to see what it does and take it from there. However, here are a few examples for how my lifestyle has changed. For the first time ever, I'm actually watching the FIFA World Soccer Cup. Thanks to a few speeches to help broaden my horizon. Thanks to Alexandra, I'm now more aware of what's in my food. My average holiday vacation food, I'm looking at it thinking, I wonder how much is in this. I dream of traveling without kids someday with my husband, Paul. Thanks to Bud, I can only envision taking off in a month when I'm lucky to just take 3 days off now, and even then I take them with me. Some of you have been through my journey in Toastmasters, which started out as a 6-month commitment to now 17 months. And I have my cheerleaders here in the room, and those of you know who you are. They have witnessed the red ribbon cutting to my new store, many banquets and cocktail events where you get an opportunity to speak, and maybe prior to my 17 months, I maybe would have passed the moment opportunity thinking that I too could be seen as a fool if I spoke. However, I've succeeded that, and I've helped set the tone in many rooms thanks to Toastmasters. 3 TV interviews, and most recently, and some of you were there to help me practice, but I got to speak in front of an expo that had over 15,000 people traffic-wise in 2 days. That is amazing. It seems that every time I take advantage of that opportunity, another opportunity presents itself that's even greater. Now, because my father chose to provide a better life for us, he chose to be in a supportive role for the last 28 years. He never did take that step to own a business in the States. He's had to work for family and succeeded and happily done it. He said to me the other day, because I was driving my new Mercedes truck that I bought for the business, he had to show me and made sure I understood everything about this truck. I'm just going to take it for deliveries. Oh no, I'm under the truck. He's explaining the whole thing to me. And driving, he said, if you get pulled over, you know the mayor, your uncle. And I wanted to say, no, if I get pulled over, you are my mayor in my heart. And it was the first time that he admitted that he was not of that position, because he chose to sacrifice himself by providing us with a better life. All of his children have accomplished more by the age of 30 than most people do in a lifetime. It's better to be thought a fool than to talk and remove all doubts. As president, I would like for us to focus on member retention. There's too many that come through this room that we can help not be in that supportive role for another 30 years. If we can help them get uncomfortable so that they can achieve their speaking goals. Use words such as I choose to instead of I can't because. I am like this because. These excuses you must evict from your mind because it matters. You have a choice. Don't listen to the voices in your head because those voices don't want change. Each of you bring a sense of value to this group, and I thank you for teaching me more outside of what I know. Social media makes everything easy to upload today. There are over 100 hours of video per minute going up on YouTube. And if you, as a business owner, want to grow your business, it's going to have to be on the web in some sort of blog or video or TV interview just to get that exposure. Therefore, why Toastmasters, you ask? Because together, let's not remain silent, because it's better to inspire by getting uncomfortable to accomplish our goals. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. And now, I would like to call former President Stephen Morgan up. And I know Project 10 said not to use notes, but because it was so emotional, I used them as a crutch, but I didn't really read from them. It was to breathe. Stephen, I would like to present you with this plaque as a token of appreciation to your service for this club. We hope that every time you see this big thank you, you will truly understand that we all thank you for helping us grow and to not just be here, but also supporting us outside this club. And I thank you for that.
It's your club now to play with. But remember that being president is easy when the other officers do their part. We're all here to help.
Thank you.
This also being number 10. This is also her finishing her Competent Communicator manual. Wow. If you didn't catch it, we had lost 16 members within the past year. We only got 5 CCs, of which 2 of those were from repeat members. Very commonly, less than 20, less than a quarter, less than a fifth of the people who ever join even get this far. It's why I've always put down, although the icebreaker is the most important, that 10th speech is the second most important speech you'll get in Toastmasters. You stayed through till you reach that goal. I've always considered the Competent Communicator to be the most important of the awards that Toastmasters provides. And you chose a great time to finish it. Well done, and keep going.
Thank you. Well, we have 10 minutes left. And you know our favorite, which would be table topics. And as president, I'm not going to volunteer anyone to do that. But with the topic of the day, history in the making. Ernst, I didn't ask the question first. To prepare you. Please share with us a moment in history where you've had the opportunity to speak and share a few words.
I guess it would be right now. Opportunity many times to speak, but Toastmasters, fellow members, and new officers. This is a great opportunity to say thank you for stepping up to the plate and do the work you do. It's not easy in a small club or in any club to volunteer your time and also try to help you grow the club. That's the most important thing, and there are many challenges at hand. I know I was trying to get the treasurer, but Diane was awarded the opportunity to do so, but nobody really told her that if there's any shortages in the fund, she has to make up the difference.
And Ernst has volunteered to help.
So while she's happily taking on the challenges, that's one of the most important things. I'm just joking. Anyways, today I appreciate you all participating here, becoming the staff or the members to help to grow the club. And I'm trying to, in my mind, understand how I can help to bring more members to it, because that's the most important thing, help to grow, which makes then the job of the president much easier. Thank you, Mr.
Now, some of you are in a household where there's many activities and decisions that have to be made. Who rules and why?
Well, that's a complicated question, if you ask me.
Watching this being filmed.
Okay, well, definitely my wife then. And we're, if you ask my kids, and definitely they act like they're in charge. We're constantly having to tell them, you know, you're not in charge, we're in charge. And they doubt. Every couple of weeks they act like they're in charge again. We have to keep reminding them. But I'm sure it's different in every household, but realistically, you know, I'm trying to guide the major decisions, but everything else, my wife definitely is hands on the wheel, and I'm along for the ride. But I just go into a different topic about joining Toastmasters. You know, I've been, I guess, over 2 years now, and I actually don't. I'm in the computer, so I don't have a lot of public speaking needs. But I found that it actually, because I'm in the computers and I don't do a lot of public speaking, that it's that much more important for me, because other people are out there as part of their jobs speaking and doing different things, whereas I'm less confident. So it's really been a great thing for me, and I'm an early morning person, so that part's not hard. But now that I have passed the competent communicator, and now I'm on my probably fourth or fifth more, I think it's pretty much a habit now, and I'm looking forward to being an officer, but I also look at being an officer as a way to guarantee I'm going to be active for the next year or two. So, so whatever it takes, but look forward to being with you all for another year.
Thank you. Last but not least question. As I mentioned before during my speech, it takes 21 days to make a habit. What habit have you created, James? Did I get it right? Mine. James Bishop usually says that. Mine. What habit have you established in 21 days, sir?
Ironically enough, I am learning Spanish. And I have heard many horror stories. Just this last week, where I've been gone the last month, was I was learning Spanish for the military, and then I got an opportunity to work with the Colombian police, with a group of Miami-Dade SWAT, Delta Force operators, and several other special forces brethren. and work with them and kind of basically teach them how to take out drug lords. So my Spanglish really didn't translate, but I kept hearing from the Colombians how there's three myths of the Caribbean. Have you heard these 3 myths?
Tell us.
A Puerto Rican that doesn't talk mess, or no, excuse me, a Cuban that doesn't talk mess. They said a Puerto Rican that's intelligent, and I was like, what? And the other one was the third one. I can't remember the third one. There's another third one. It was one of the gems of the Caribbean. Figure it out. Anyway, but I thought it was funny because they always talk about how the Spanish of the Puerto Ricans is like, what are we saying? So I find that funny. But no, I do want to learn Spanish, and so I would actually want to seek your help. Just working toward my goal is forming that habit of continuing to push and push and push until I'm fluent. Because one day I plan to go to Colombia for several months and visit. So thank you again.
Our guests just take a moment and share what they thought. It was not our traditional meeting, but if you could just at least acknowledge who you are, that would be appreciated.
My name is Alex Manikowski. I'm actually in town visiting from Colorado. This is my mom, ironically. We share the same last name, so this is my awesome girlfriend, Morgan. So we're on our way to go down to the Keys for vacation, so it's gonna be, we're looking forward to it. But I thought the meeting was awesome. Hopefully you guys have another tribe of you guys out in Colorado might have to join up.
All over the world.
Yep. So I enjoy it, and I look forward to potentially being in Toastmasters at some point in my life.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know if I could have the courage like you guys to stand up and talk in front of people. It makes me very nervous. So I applaud all of you for constantly giving speeches. And I think it's definitely good for people to join things like this because it does build confidence, which is something I think everyone needs.
Thank you. I'll make it up to you later.
Take that. All right, some of you know me. I'm Erika's husband, Paul, kind of the man behind the woman, so to speak. Very proud of her today for her accomplishments, and very interesting group. I mean, I like the table topics and everything. And who knows, maybe I might join someday.
Alright, we have some
Training is next.
training is next week. Are they all
They're all
the
the
same?
same. They're all the same.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let's pass these down. So make sure everyone has that. And I have a few ideas that we'll present. We call it a board meeting where I come from. I'm not sure what we call it here. Okay, well, at the next board meeting, I have some ideas. I do want to take 30 seconds to take a quick poll. Not everyone's here, but how many of you use Gmail? Google. Sort of. Okay, I don't. And I'm curious to share something that I use in another club because our goal is communication, retention, and growth this year. Communication, retention, growth. And there is a source out there that is free because we have someone that is currently paying for the, what is it called? Meetup. And that's almost $20 a month now. And that's a big nut to cover. So there is an opportunity to take advantage of Group Loop, and Group Loop is free. It also allows you to upload documents. You can still have individual information that anyone can access, and it stays on the web. I upload my agendas on there, and it's not anything that I'm saying we're going to do. I'm just presenting the idea out there. so that if anyone becomes a member, email in my world is not effective. I get over 1,000 emails a day. If you send me an email, as Ernst did, call me. He had to send me an email, call me. I had to put it into my voice memorization, into Siri, to remind me to call him, because that email will get bumped behind several hundred emails, and without intentionally, I could forget to respond. So I'm going to draw a list of some suggestions to get that communication, retention, growth, so that we can help those that are new, that could be computer challenged, to have a much easier way, non-cost way of communicating. I have used the phone number. It's fantastic. I don't think that we need to rock the boat and make any changes. I'm just trying to put some suggestions on how to save money and put it in layman terms for some of us that don't use Google. And with that, are there any comments and suggestions? My right hand here. She's just, let's give her a round of applause.
Special presentation. We achieved the Founders Ribbon due to Julia Kaufman's efforts in achieving her distinguished Toastmaster. She founded a new club, and because she's a member of Lake Mary, we get the ribbon. And I think we should make another special recognition. Susanna, tell us what you're going to be doing next year coming up. Susanna!
It turns out I am the new area governor for Area 41, which used to be Lake Mary, but Area 41 is actually, they just redistricted, and
we're going to...
Yes, Lake Mary is now 70. I will be the area governor for a portion of Orlando and Winter Park, but I'll still be here as a member.
And you get a ribbon, right? We still get the ribbon for the area governor, for our banner, because she belongs to Lake Mary. Promotion.
Awesome. Next week, we don't have Jorge to repeat that schedule. Who has? Oh my goodness, Steven, that's right.
Is it on? Did it get around? Yes. Should be on there. July 8th.
All right, so we have for July 14th, Speaker Pat, and Pat has sent me an email requesting to take some time off. She has a new grandson. She's still going to remain.
You were going to speak, right, Diane?
I'm on there, right, yeah.
Okay, so Diane is going to speak in place of Pat.
Oh, I don't know, I thought it was,
Yeah,
that's fine. I was gonna do it.
Okay, then we also have Paul Walsh,
I didn't realize it was there, but I'll do it.
Stephanie, General Evaluator Carrie Bird, Evaluator Alexandra Balda, Julia Kaufman. I need one more evaluator volunteer. Okay, perfect. Mike? Table Topics Master Gus.
Thank you.
Odd Counter James Bishop, who's not here. I think we could fill that in pretty quickly, right? We're Marion, myself, Sergeant at Arms, Alexandra, Stephen Morgan, Timer. All right, with that.
Who's Toastmaster?
Yeah.
That's not on the list. Oh, Ernst. Yay! In lieu of time, have a great week, fantastic holiday weekend, and my gavel.